up, y'all? As promised, this is my 1-year topical steroid withdrawal update. So as of April 1st, I've been going through topical steroid withdrawal for the second time. Technically the third time, but I'm gonna get into that in another video. But for the second time for a whole year. And wow, what a journey it's been. First of all, if you would have asked me a year ago where I thought I'd be, I for sure thought that, oh, I'll be healed by now. I've done topical steroid withdrawal. I was doing the Dr. Aaron method. It's gonna take me a few months to get better. I was wrong. Also, I never would have anticipated that everyone would be at home social distancing because of the coronavirus. It's really a crazy time that we're living in right now, and I really pray that everyone is safe, staying smart, and also is provided for as far as like food, shelter, financially. There's a lot of resources that I've come across. A lot of them are for artists because, of course, those are the resources that I'm looking for. But I'm going to share in the description box the resources that I've come across that may be a help to you if you need them. Because really what this time is showing me is that we need each other more than ever, and we need connection more than ever. So even though we're social distancing, I've definitely been much more connected to my family and friends during this time, whether it's through Skype or Zoom or just texting each other, whatever it is. We need each other. And so, yes, I will share the resources that I've come across in the link in the description box below. But for TSW sufferers, I know that this social distancing is not new to us. At least I know for me, after taking time off to heal in June, like this is basically how I've been living. I'm also an introvert, so staying at home is like, this transition into this period of the world has been pretty like seamless for me, which was very surprising. I also think that if this were to happen in a different time in my life, I would have been freaking out. But I think all of the healing mentally, emotionally, and physically that I've been going through for the past really 5 years, but especially since June, really prepared me to be okay right now. So for TSW sufferers, I really just want to encourage you to do whatever you need to do for yourself during this time. I know that there's so many people saying like, well, now's the time to be productive and start your business and do this, that, and the other. Or, there's so many ideas on the internet floating around of what you should be doing with this time. But honestly, the only person who can answer what you should be doing is you. So if you need to sleep all day and watch Netflix, that's fine. I did that for months. It's totally fine. I would encourage you to start journaling. That's something that's really helpful for me and helped me sort through a lot of the emotions that I was dealing with over, the past year. I think this time is difficult for some people because when you are at home, when you're not able to go out and distract yourself with things, you're faced with yourself and you have to deal with all of your stuff, whether that be like insecurities, things, shame, guilt, whatever it is. And I think all of that comes up when you're dealing with TSW. So yeah, I would really encourage you to find some quiet space within all of this, and journaling is really helpful. The breathing exercises that I talk about have been super helpful for me. Yoga, if your body is able to do that, because I know in some stages of TSW, any sort of movement is impossible. But if you can't do that, you can slow down your breathing. And that really helps to just calm your mind. I know I've talked about, the depression, but one of my last blog posts, I also put that in the description box. I talked about, me dealing with depression and adrenal fatigue and topical steroid withdrawal. And I really, truly believe that what helped me, no matter what supplements I was taking, what I was eating, what helped me was breathing and yoga. And I was going to therapy and journaling, but once I got consistent with breathing and yoga, I saw a huge change in my entire mindset and just the way that I approached this journey that I'm on. So I want to really encourage you to do that. And yeah, like a lot of my anxiety throughout this process has been rooted in feeling like I was missing out on something, or feeling like I wasn't doing enough, or I wasn't living up to some expectation that I probably just created out of nowhere. But right now, there's nothing to miss out on. There's nothing to miss out on, especially in my industry, theater and film. Like, there is nothing going on. So I'm really, the same advice that I'm giving you, I'm taking for myself, and really just using this time to be more at peace with myself, so that when this is over, whatever the world looks like when this is over, I'll still be able to find peace within the storm. And that's also another big lesson that I've learned in this entire process. Like, my face may be falling off and I don't know when I'm going to be healed 100%, but there's really power in finding peace within the storm of topical steroid withdrawal. I didn't know I was going to go on that whole tangent, but I did. And now I'm going to tell you about how my skin is doing. So I just wanted to show you basically what's going on with my skin right now. You can see like the texture in my forehead, but when you feel it, it's like this actually feels really smooth and not rough. And up here, this is, you know, my constant problem area that I always talk about. The right side of my face is always darker. One thing that I've been dealing with, and I told you guys, it comes and goes, I've been getting those painful cysts again. Yep, and I can show you on this arm, that's where one was. That might have been one. There's one right now in the most awkward of places right here. You can kind of see how it's swollen there, and it like, ooh, it hurts to the touch. There's another one here. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, I've been getting those again. So it's like I'll get them, they'll disappear, and then they'll come back. And then my arms, I'm scratching as I show you. Sorry. Yeah, you can see here, like, there's like nothing going on here. And then from there down, it's just discoloration and texture. And my hands are really suffering right now with all the hand washing. I'm sure you guys can relate. Right now, I don't have any cuts, but it's like, I'll get cuts on like my knuckles or like my fingers, and then they'll heal. So right now they've all healed, but as you can see, it's like really dry. I should probably put some shea butter on that. Another thing going on with my skin, you can't really see it right now, but like underneath my eyes, they've just been puffy every morning. And that's something that I wasn't dealing with for a while. Like, my eyes started to like look back. What I'm trying to say is my eyes were starting to calm down, but I actually have like again, I don't think you can tell in the video, but when I look at my eyes, I can see like, oh, there's like a light dusting of eczema on the skin there. And the skin is really sensitive here. So of course it doesn't look like this, but it's another form of, you know, eczema, topical steroid withdrawal underneath my eyes. And every morning my eyes are just like puffy and swollen. So not to the extent that they used to be, but it's just been very noticeable lately where I'm like, oh, I just have like, yeah, stuff going on underneath my eyes. And then it calms down throughout the day. Also, look at how my eyebrows are coming in. Hey, you know, that one's a little wavy, but it's cool. These pictures are from March 16th when I was really in the middle of the flare. You can see my skin is flakier than it has been, and my eyes are very puffy, and, you know, just texture and discoloration. In this picture, you can see I have a cut underneath my nose. I have no idea where that came from, but I had a random cut. And same with the arms, just discoloration and texture. My wrists, however, I have been smoother than normal, and you can see that here in this picture. I've also lost pigment behind my knees and down my calves, so you can see in these two pictures. But the skin is smoother than it has been. This is from April 4th, so you can see that my skin has started to clear up at this point. On my arms, you can see close to the shoulder, the skin looks normal, but all the rest of the way down, there's just discoloration. This is a cyst on my forearm, and this is from April 12th. So my skin has really cleared up at this point. So, of course, right after my last video, I talked about how my skin was doing better and it was feeling like skin again and it wasn't like rough and cracked and dry and all that stuff. And then right after that, I flared up because that's how it happens. And so I'm not sure. I have like 2 theories on why I flared. Oh, 3 actually. It could have been that it was a period flare. Also, it could have just been like me being lax. When I say I was being lax in my diet, I was just eating out more to places that, you know, like could accommodate how I ate to a certain extent. But I got pretty lax with the way that I was eating out. So it could have just been that it finally caught up with me. Or it could have been that I started celery juicing again like every morning and eating cleaner. And so eating cleaner just caused die-off symptoms. Who knows? But the point is, my skin got worse. And what happened was I started getting, I've had like a big patch of, you know, inflamed skin on my lower back, but I started getting it kind of like on my shoulder blades. And the way, it was basically just like bumpy and itchy and a little red. It wasn't like you can look at my hands that are like really dry and the skin is super thick. It wasn't like that. It was kind of like, I would almost say it's like, it was just like regular eczema, maybe. It was a little more mild, but still broken out. So I got it on my shoulder blades, kind of like my panty line and like the tops of my thighs. And it came around the front of my stomach a little bit. So again, areas that I'm sure I've broken out in those areas before, but all of those areas have been relatively clear for a while. So I was probably dealing with that for like a month. Another thing that I've really been focusing on with like staying home all the time, of course, you know, I'm really cooking everything I eat right now. And as you know, that's been a struggle for me because I get so just burnt out with cooking, but now I don't have a choice. So I've really worked on adjusting my mindset and being like, wow, I have the opportunity to cook healing foods for my body. I have the opportunity to heal by eating the right things for me. And I'm blessed to have food to eat. So I just had to change my mindset about that. And I've been cooking more and also like trying new recipes. That's something that really helps me. And if you're on a healing diet, I like really encourage that. Find foods, find new recipes or new foods that are approved in your healing diet so that you don't get bored. And as far as how I'm eating, I'm still refining what works best for me. But what's really been helping me is, I talk about this a lot, how I jump into protocols and I get in over my head. And so one of the things I was like, okay, just cut out one thing at a time. Focus on one thing at a time that you want to change in your diet. And so I've talked about how I try not to eat corn, but I love popcorn. I really do. And so I got real in the time period that I was lax with my diet, I was crushing some popcorn. So I said, okay, Lauren, stop eating popcorn. That's the only thing you have to focus on. And I don't think I've had any, well, not just popcorn, just corn in general. Because I like tortilla chips too. Anything with corn is just good. So it's been like a month. Haven't had any corn. So now I got to figure out what the next thing I want to change is. I'm considering a few different things, but I think I do need to return kind of to more of a candida diet where I'm eating less fruit, less grains and starches, because I feel like I'm gonna see improvement if I cut those things out. Even though I did break out for a while and now it's getting better, I have seen improvement in my energy levels, and it's so much easier to get up in the mornings. Like, I have struggled getting up from bed. Like, no matter how much sleep I got, no matter what time I went to bed, getting up in the mornings has been a struggle. But lately, it feels like I need less sleep. Like, my body just naturally wakes up after less time, and I'm like awake when I wake up. I can get up and like function. Before, if I wasn't able to sleep or I woke up early, if my body woke me up early, I was just worthless for the rest of the day and probably laid in bed for hours before I actually got up. I do want to talk about some symptoms that I forgot to mention last time. Most of these I'm not experiencing them anymore, but I want you guys to know what they are in case they happen to you during topical steroid withdrawal, because I know for me, sometimes I'm like, is this normal? Like, is this a topical steroid withdrawal thing? Or like, should I be worried? So yeah, I just want to tell you some things that happened that were new this time around in topical steroid withdrawal for me. One, I kept getting swollen lymph nodes in like different parts of my body. And that happened the last time through topical steroid withdrawal. But what was weird this time was I got them in my armpits. And there would just be like multiple bumps in my armpits, and they would be sore, and it even would hurt to like move my arms. And so I haven't dealt with that for months now, but they would pop up and go away and then pop up again. So if that happens, you're not alone. Also, I talked in the last video, I talked about, actually, no, I don't think I talked about it in the last video, which is why I'm bringing it up now. But I talked about the video before that. I talked about my chronic congestion and sinus issues, and just like mucus. And sorry, this is gross. So if you don't want to hear about it, maybe skip ahead. But, one of the issues that I've been having for a long time is that in the mornings, I'm just coughing up like mucus, and I'm just super congested and like dealing with postnasal drip. Last year I had a sinus infection, and I think I told you guys about how I had a bad reaction to the antibiotics. And so it's just been a thing that I've been dealing with for a while. Even before last year, this has been happening for years. And one thing that I think is really helping is I've started taking sea moss gel. Like, I put it in my smoothies, and I've been consuming sea moss for years, but I think recently, one, I started using a new brand, and two, because I'm at home all the time, I've been super consistent with it. Like, there's no excuses to not get it in my system one way or another throughout the day. And I've really noticed that I have less congestion. Also, so in the mornings when if I'm coughing up mucus or like blowing it out of my nose, it's like yellow or like light yellow in the mornings, and then the rest of the day it's clear. And so I've noticed that it's not as yellow, or it's not, and there's less of it coming out, and I can just breathe better. It's also been like, sometimes it keeps me up at night because I'm like coughing and I just feel it in my chest. So yeah, all of that has been improving, and I really think it's because of the sea moss. Sea moss has like, I hope I don't mess this up, like 92 minerals of the 101 minerals in the body, something like that. But it helps clear mucus out of the body, and it's just really good. It's like a super food. Another thing that I dealt with that, again, I'm not dealing with anymore is that I was getting like chills all the time. And I've always gotten chills, and I kind of like, I call them violent chills because I kind of like freak out when I get a chill. I kind of do a like thing. I do. And people are always like, and I'm like, I just got a chill. It's a thing that happens. But a few months ago, it was happening like even more than usual. And one of my friends even commented, he was like, what's going on? Because this is more than usual. And I was like, I don't know. And when I started performing again, I noticed when I would go to rehearsal or when I would perform, I would like sweat a lot, but then I would feel cold. So it's kind of like this clammy feeling of like, I'm cold, but I'm sweating and my armpits are wet. What's going on? So I really dealt with some temper dysregulation stuff, but I think all of that has also calmed down. But yeah, I just forgot to mention this stuff in the last video, so I wanted to let you guys know about it. But I think that pretty much covers it for this update. I think for the next video, I really want to talk about some supplements that I've added into my life to boost my immunity during this time. Like I said, I can't control what's going on in the world, but I can control how I respond. And I think now more than ever is a time to really just put a lot of focus on healing the body and doing whatever you can to support your immune system and your body. So I'll give a quick rundown now so this video isn't like an hour long, but like I said, I've been taking the sea moss, which has been really helpful. Still taking vitamin D. I added in oregano oil, which is antimicrobial, and elderberry tea. I've also been like juicing more often, juicing like oranges and ginger, oranges for vitamin C. But yeah, in the next video, I will get into more detail about that, about why all those things are good. But yeah, until then, stay safe and thank you for watching. If you want to continue on this journey with me, be sure to like and subscribe and check out the blog justdupree.com, where I talk about even more than just how my skin is doing every day. Great. All right. Oh, and lastly, if you haven't seen it yet, I was a part of, I'm sure you guys know about the Don't Rush Challenge that's been like all the craze during social distancing. I did one with some fellow skin warriors, and so I will post, it's on my Instagram. You should just go to my Instagram. It's on my IGTV, Just Dupree, the blog, and you can check it out. Cool. All right. Well, until next time, see you guys later.